At 93, as a doctor, he thought he knew everything about health. But one morning, he was hit by an unexpected blow. He lost consciousness in the bathroom. A fall, a head injury, and there he was, lying on the cold, wet floor. His blood pressure soared to a critical 200/110, his pulse barely palpable. The paramedics who arrived diagnosed a mini-stroke. The cause, as it turned out, was not age or chronic diseases, but a seemingly harmless habit that many repeat daily, year after year. This inconspicuous routine triples the risk of stroke, especially after the age of 60. A stroke is not just a disease, it is a lightning strike that can change life in an instant or even end it. This story is about 7 simple actions performed in the bathroom that seem to pose no threat. However, together they create a dangerous cocktail that can lead to tragic consequences. And this is not just theory, but personal experience. The last of these habits is especially dangerous, and many elderly people in Russia do it every day without even suspecting the impending danger. It was this that almost cost the narrator his life. After falling in the bathroom, his first thought was, age is taking its toll, blood pressure is jumping, blood vessels are wearing out. Self-diagnosis, as is often the case, because we have been taught to think that weakness, dizziness, constipation, and shortness of breath are inevitable companions of old age. But this is a dangerous misconception. The real reason lies in the daily repetition of bad habits, especially in the bathroom, where in the morning we act on autopilot, thoughtlessly and carelessly. Every action in the bathroom is a potential trigger. A sudden change in body position leads to a drop in blood pressure. Holding your breath while bending over causes it to spike. Lack of water in the body thickens the blood. Poor oral hygiene allows bacteria to enter the bloodstream. Prolonged sitting disrupts blood circulation in the brain. All these factors, accumulating gradually, lead to stroke. The danger is that we do not feel these changes. There is no pain, no obvious symptoms, just a sudden blow, which can be followed by disability or even worse, death. These are not just assumptions, but scientifically based facts, based on knowledge of pressure, blood vessels, and oxygen. This is what he taught his students, but only realized it through his own experience. Knowledge without awareness is useless. We don't get old, we make mistakes. And if they are corrected, you can not only survive, but also live a full life. Habit number 7 is morning urination without completely emptying the bladder. Waking up, many immediately go to the toilet, spend only a few seconds there, and are already thinking about breakfast. For years, this procedure was performed automatically without thinking about the consequences. But one day, it led to a sharp jump in blood pressure, dizziness, and darkening of the eyes. He had to sit back down on the toilet, as it was impossible to stand. Later, it turned out that this morning rush could have triggered a stroke. It turns out that with age, the muscles of the bladder lose their strength, and even after urination, residual urine remains inside. This causes hidden tension in the body, activates the sympathetic nervous system, as in stress. Arteries constrict, blood pressure rises, kidneys are overloaded, and the brain does not receive enough oxygen. Every morning, a small internal storm occurs in the body. As a doctor, he didn't know about this until he experienced it himself. Since then, he has started using a simple method. After urinating, he sits for another 10 seconds, relaxes, and tries to urinate again. And almost always, a little more comes out. This is called double voiding. It is scientifically proven that this reduces intravesical pressure by 60%, reduces the load on the heart and brain. Men with an enlarged prostate are advised to consult a urologist about alpha blockers. Women will be helped by training the pelvic muscles. Now, morning visits to the toilet are not a rush, but a conscious, calm, and possibly life-saving start to the day. Habit number 6 is brushing your teeth only once a day or skipping the evening routine. He always thought he had healthy teeth. Brushing in the morning, moderate consumption of sweets, proper nutrition. But in recent years, he developed bad breath and bleeding gums. The dentist diagnosed gingivitis. He didn't pay much attention to it, blaming it all on age. However, Later, he read a study that people who brush their teeth only once a day are more likely to suffer from strokes. At night, during sleep, saliva is hardly produced, creating ideal conditions for bacteria to multiply. They form plaque, penetrate the gums through microcracks, and enter the bloodstream, causing inflammation of blood vessels. The blood becomes thicker, increasing the risk of blood clots. This is no longer dentistry, but cardiology and neurology, a direct path to stroke. Realizing this, he changed his habit. Now he always brushes his teeth before bed with a soft brush, uses toothpaste with an antiseptic, and a tongue scraper to remove plaque. Dental floss, which he didn't like before, has now become mandatory, as it helps prevent the formation of blood clots. A 2019 study showed that people with gum disease are twice as likely to have a stroke, even if they don't smoke and have normal blood pressure. Bacteria from the mouth are an invisible army attacking the blood vessels of the brain. Brushing your teeth is not just a cosmetic procedure. It is protection, prevention, and a manifestation of self-care, especially before bed, when your blood vessels either live or suffer. Habit number 5 is urinating immediately after waking up in a state of dehydration. One morning, waking up and heading to the toilet, he felt his eyes darken. Grabbing the sink, he felt a rapid but weak heartbeat. Blood pressure measurement showed 85/60, a critical value. Later, he learned that he had made a dangerous mistake. He went to the toilet immediately after waking up without drinking water. At night, the body loses moisture through breathing, sweat, and urine, and we wake up in a state of hidden dehydration. A sudden rise and tension create ideal conditions for a stroke. Thick blood, tension, and low circulating fluid volume are a disaster, especially for older people whose sense of thirst dulls with age. The solution is to keep a glass of water by the bed and drink 300 to 400 milliliters immediately after waking up. While the body wakes up, the water begins to thin the blood, ease the work of the heart, and reduce the risk of dizziness and falls. Studies have shown that drinking water before getting up reduces the risk of orthostatic hypotension by 60%, and therefore the risk of stroke. It's only 30 seconds and one sip, but they can save a life. Habit number 4 is a prolonged hot shower in the morning without a massage effect. A hot shower was a morning ritual, helping to warm the joints, wake up, and feel alive. He would turn on the hot water and stand under it for 10 to 15 minutes with his eyes closed. It seemed relaxing until one day he got out of the shower and fell to the floor from weakness. His ears were ringing, his eyes were darkening, his heart was beating strangely. Hot water can be deadly, especially for people over 70. It dilates blood vessels, lowers blood pressure, but when you go out into a cool bathroom, the blood vessels constrict sharply, causing a jump in blood pressure in the other direction. The body does not have time to adapt. The blood vessels go from extreme to extreme, which can provoke a stroke, especially in the presence of plaques or weak walls. Taking blood pressure medication enhances this effect. Add to this sweating, which leads to hidden dehydration, thick blood, blood pressure spikes, and a brain that lacks stability. The solution is to end the shower with 30 seconds of cool water to stabilize the blood vessels and allow the body to transition to normal mode. During the shower, you need to move slightly and change support. If you feel weak, you should sit on a bench. These simple actions can save a life. Habit number 3 is straining during a toilet visit, causing a dangerous sharp increase in blood pressure. Constipation is a delicate topic that is not usually talked about aloud, but after 70, every second person faces it. Morning waiting and tension in the toilet seemed normal, but one day after a regular toilet visit, he felt dizzy and almost fell. Blood pressure jumped to 210/120. The pulse quickened. He was very scared. It turns out that straining and holding your breath activate the Valsalva maneuver, causing a sharp rise in intrathoracic pressure. An increase in pressure of 50 to 90 millimeters of mercury in a matter of seconds is a serious threat. Healthy blood vessels can withstand such a load, but in older people, even minor damage to the vascular wall can lead to rupture and stroke. This is especially dangerous, given that about 40% of people over 65 suffer from chronic constipation. Many of them, unaware of the danger, daily put their blood vessels at risk, playing Russian roulette. The first solution is not to endure, but also not to spend more than 20 minutes in the toilet. The second is the correct posture. Using a small stool under your feet so that your knees are higher than your hips helps straighten the rectum and facilitates the process of defecation without straining. This is physiological and safe. The third is a balanced diet, including plums, oatmeal, and enough water, 1.5 to 2 liters per day, in the diet helps normalize bowel function. A short walk after waking up, just 10 minutes of walking, also helps activate the intestines without risk and tension. Now, visiting the toilet is not a struggle, but a calm process. A stroke is not inevitable, but often the result of mistakes made in the toilet. Habit number 2 is prolonged stay in the toilet with a phone, causing silent cerebral anemia. Morning reading of news and messages on the phone while sitting in the toilet seemed like a harmless way to combine business with pleasure. However, one day, after such a pastime, he felt weakness in his legs, dizziness, and ringing in his ears. Prolonged sitting on the toilet disrupts venous outflow from the legs, causing blood stasis and reduced cerebral perfusion. It is especially dangerous to sit leaning forward with the abdomen compressed and the knees bent, as usually happens in the toilet. Even more dangerous is the phone itself. The screen light and constant scrolling activate the sympathetic nervous system, causing stress in the body. Blood pressure rises, blood vessels constrict, heart rate increases. As a result, the brain does not receive enough oxygen, and blood pressure jumps due to the phone. This is the perfect cocktail for a stroke. The solution is to leave the phone outside the bathroom door. The toilet is a place for relaxation, not for tension. If you need to read something, it is better to use a paper newspaper. However, it is best not to linger in the toilet for more than 5 to 7 minutes. After visiting the toilet, it is recommended to walk a little. Even 2 minutes of walking restores cerebral circulation. Now, without lingering in the toilet, he feels better, his head is clearer, his heart is calmer, and his brain is grateful. Habit number 1 is holding your breath during exertion or getting up too quickly, which poses an immediate risk of rupture of a blood vessel in the brain. One day, reaching for toilet paper and holding his breath, he suddenly got up and felt dizzy and weak. It was a mini version of a stroke against the background of the Valsalva maneuver. With tension and holding your breath, intrathoracic pressure rises sharply, blood flow to the heart decreases, and pressure in the brain jumps. When exhaling, the blood vessels experience a sharp blow. If there are plaques or weak spots in the blood vessels, they may not withstand it, especially when getting up. Older people often experience orthostatic hypotension, when blood pressure drops when getting up. Holding your breath exacerbates the situation, depriving the brain of oxygen and subjecting it to pressure. This can happen at any moment. The solution is to get up slowly and smoothly. First take a breath, and then exhale and rise without jerking. If you feel weak, you should sit down. There is no place for pride in the bathroom, only safety. It is recommended to install handrails and use a raised toilet seat. It is important to control your breathing and stop to breathe if you notice that you often hold it when exerting yourself. Breathing is life, and controlling it in the bathroom can prevent tragedy. With age, he realized that it is not pills that save you from a stroke, but a daily routine. The little things we do every morning either protect the brain or destroy it. He developed a plan that helped him change his morning after he nearly lost consciousness in the bathroom. Now he shares this plan because it works. Step 1. Water by the bed. There's always a glass of water next to the bed. Immediately after waking up, you need to drink 300 to 400 milliliters of warm water slowly. This starts blood circulation, reduces blood viscosity, and eases the work of the heart. Step 2. Sit on the bed for 1 to 2 minutes without jumping up. First take a breath and exhale and assess your well-being. Only after that can you get up without jerking and holding your breath. Step 3. In the toilet, do not rush and do not strain. After urinating, Pause for 10 seconds and try to urinate again. This second, emptying reduces pressure and load on the kidneys. Step 4. Without a phone. The toilet is not a place for gadgets. The maximum time spent in the toilet is 5 to 7 minutes. Avoid leaning forward, scrolling, and hold your breath. When finished, get up and leave immediately. Step 5. Brushing your teeth. Especially in the evening, you can forget during the day. In the evening, be sure to use a soft brush, antiseptic toothpaste, dental floss, and a tongue scraper. This is important not only for the teeth, but also for the blood vessels of the brain. Step 6. Shower wisely. Love warmth, but end the shower with 30 seconds of cool water. Do not stand still and sit down if you feel dizzy. The shower should restore, not create risk. Step 7. Walk for 5 to 10 minutes. After all the procedures, go out into the fresh air or just walk around the apartment. This activates the intestines, improves blood circulation, and lowers blood pressure. Now, his morning is not just the beginning of the day, but an act of caring for the brain and for life. It takes no more than 15 minutes, but these 15 minutes can save years of a full life. He is a doctor who has lived for 9 decades and has seen a lot: death, recovery, mistakes. He knows for sure that a stroke does not occur suddenly. It accumulates, grows in the shadow of habits, and is built from the little things that we don't even think about. Morning is the key. Every day is a chance, and all it takes is 5 minutes to not just wake up, but to awaken. 5 minutes to drink water, 5 minutes to sit and breathe, 5 minutes not to rush, 5 minutes to save the brain and save yourself. We are not powerless. We just didn't know, and now we know.